Hey everyone, Supercell Celeste here. Today's Monday, February 26th, and today I want to talk about a very strong storm system developing, and that'll lead to a severe thunderstorm outbreak tomorrow across the lower Great Lakes region and lower Ohio Valley. Across this region in here tomorrow night. I want to start by looking at the 500 millibar heights, the wind speeds, the jet stream. I'll be looking at the HRRR model today, looking at the high res model since we're getting close to the event. This is this morning, looking at the jet stream. Um, you can see we have. Let me go to yellow. We have a here we got the northern stream or the polar jet, and down here we have the southern stream or the subtropical jet. As we go out in time, notice this deep trough moving in across the northwest. That'll as that digs south into tomorrow afternoon. Notice how these two jet streams start phasing over the Great Plains and Mississippi Valley. Right here we have the northern stream and the southern stream right here, and right in here they start to phase. That's going to cause low pressure development in the Great Plains, and that's going to allow the low pressure to rapidly deepen and move to the northeast. You can also see the beginnings of a jet streak over Missouri. That'll aid in rapid low pressure development. Now we'll be looking at the 850 millibar winds, or about the low level jet, about 1 mile above sea level. Going into tomorrow night, you'll see how this rapidly intensifies over Indiana and Ohio and Kentucky. This would be around 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. tomorrow. Notice this over here in Indiana and Ohio, these yellow colors showing a strong low-level jet. That'd be about 70 knot winds or 80 miles per hour. Very strong low-level jet develops rapidly tomorrow night. That's what's going to cause the rapid intensification of thunderstorms tomorrow night in Indiana and Illinois. And then notice how those colors move east overnight. This will be around midnight tomorrow night over Ohio and Indiana, Ohio and Kentucky. And then as the values start to decrease as we get into Wednesday morning, showing us, which brings a lesser severe threat into Wednesday. I'm going to go straight to the simulated radar just to get right into it. So we'll be going hour by hour here. Excuse me. This will be. Oh, excuse me. Let's go. Here we go. There we go. This is during the day today. Not much going on today, but as we get into tonight, overnight tonight, this will be around 1 a.m. tonight Eastern time. Along the warm front, notice we start getting some thunderstorm development across eastern Indiana, going northward into lower Michigan. And notice how these just kind of rapidly develop across Ohio. This would be around 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. tomorrow. Rapid development in Ohio, but I am not expecting these to be severe. Maybe some small hail, some stronger wind gusts with some of these cells, but I don't expect many of these to be severe due to the lack of instability and the low-level jet not being too strong. Now, this would be tomorrow afternoon around 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Notice how nothing really going on yet. I think much of this area should be fairly strongly capped to inhibit any thunderstorm development. Also, the low-level jet's not strong enough yet. That develops tomorrow night, like I just showed in Indiana. But as we get to around 7 p.m., notice thunderstorms now started to develop in Ohio along a new warm frontal boundary. And then especially watch what happens just 1 hour later. It's showing rapid development of thunderstorms along the frontal boundary here and from southern lower Michigan across northern Indiana and arcing down into southern Illinois and even Missouri. As we go just a couple 1 hour later, notice how we have rapid thunderstorm development all along this area. Like I just said, southern lower Michigan down into the St. Louis area. I am concerned that some of these could be discrete and supercellular at first, especially across northern Indiana and southern, southwestern, lower Michigan, in that area there. With the more discrete supercells at first, I think there's the possibility of some very large hail, very strong winds, and maybe even a couple tornadoes with this due to the very good environment, which I'll show you the parameters just after this. And then this would be around 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is still, over a day away. So this will probably change just a little bit. So don't take every hour too specifically here. Just showing the general idea for now. But by around 10 p.m. tomorrow night, you can see we could have multiple thunderstorms all along the frontal boundary here from Michigan into southern Illinois. And as these start to push eastward, I do expect them to become more linear, like how the model is showing. So by closer to midnight tomorrow night, we could have more, it could be more linear in nature. Right here, you can see how it's showing that across northwest Ohio, spanning down into Indiana. As it becomes more linear, it'll be less of a tornado and hail threat and more of a damage and wind threat as it pushes east. And then as we get into the overnight hours, due to the lack of daytime heat-in, the lack of instability, I expect the storms to weaken and not be as strong as they move through Ohio, but could still see a couple stronger wind gusts as it moves through places like Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, but not as strong as I am expecting it to be over Michigan and northern Indiana down to central Illinois. And then the model goes as far out as 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Still some thunderstorms across portions of Ohio into Kentucky, but being the very early morning hours and not much instability, I'm not expecting these to be very severe. But obviously you could still get some heavy rain, stronger wind gusts, maybe small hail in the stronger cells, especially in southern Ohio and northern Kentucky early Wednesday morning. Now I want to go through each parameter, so let's back up a bit and let's go to when this is really peaking. Let's go to let's go right around here, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Let's stop it right there. So let's go to 8 p.m. tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and look at each parameter. So starting with temperatures around 8 p.m. tomorrow night, you can see we have temperatures in the 70s as far north as central Illinois, and widespread 60s all across the lower Great Lakes region as far north as central lower Michigan. And you can see the very strong cold front right around here pushing eastward, where we have these rapid temperatures cooling down into the teens once you get to Minneapolis, and even getting below zero once you reach the Dakotas here. So we do have the temperatures are just warm enough to get thunderstorm development. This is looking at dew points at the same time. You can see widespread dew points in the upper 50s across a tongue of moisture stretching across southern Illinois all the way into lower Michigan, right in this area here. Even this bluer color right there, could even see a couple dew points reaching 60, which is incredible for this time of year so far north. This is the one concern I have for thunderstorms being so severe, if they'll get so severe, because normally you want to see dew points in the 60s to get, tornadoes and very widespread severe thunderstorm outbreaks. So the question is do we have enough moisture and instability with these dew points to get such a widespread outbreak? I think that's where the SPC just has a slight risk out for now. But definitely warm enough to get, we have dew points just warm enough to get severe thunderstorms to develop. We'll see if it's warm enough to get tornadoes, though. I still think there could be a couple brief tornadoes in here, but the lower dew points could be inhibiting it from being a more widespread tornado outbreak. Let's see, next I want to show you guys the CAPE values. This is how much energy we have in the atmosphere to produce thunderstorms. You can see these values all in blue are over 1,000 from southern Illinois into lower Michigan. And these couple areas of yellow in there, those are values over 2,000. So definitely enough energy in the atmosphere to get thunderstorms. All you need is about 500, and we have values of 1,000 to 2,000 here. And once again, incredible to see values this high in February in the lower Great Lakes region. It's very rare to see this early in the season, so far north. Next, I want to show you guys the bulk shear, how much wind shear we got from 0 to 6 kilometers above sea level. Very good values here too. We got values over 40 knots, even 50 knots, 40 to 60 knots here across northern Indiana to southern lower Michigan. So definitely have the wind shear going on. And then next, I'm going to show you the helicity values. This is like the key ingredient to see to get tornado development. It's the turning of winds at the lowest levels. In this case, the 0 to 1 kilometer level above sea level. And these values in purple are extremely high across Indiana, and even anywhere you have this orange color is high enough to get tornadoes. So right in this area, Indiana, where we have the CAPE, the moisture, the temperature and also at the same time that low-level jet I showed you is rapidly strengthening over Indiana. That's why my biggest concern is Indiana right now to get tornadoes, because they definitely have all the parameters in place. The key ingredient missing is just the higher dew points. But we have the shear and we have the instability. Next, just to put all that together, we have this significant tornado parameter, which shows not the probability, but like how the level, like just how, if we do have everything in place to get tornadoes, and where the highest chance of that would be. It's on a scale of 0 to 10, and you can see the highest values. We have all these values in orange, or anything over about 2 to 3, and then even seeing a couple of purple colors in there, values of over 4. So significant. These are pretty significant numbers. So especially so far north. So in February, incredible to see this. But yeah, definitely in the area I'm most concerned about, from across central northern Indiana and far southern lower Michigan. This area I'm most concerned with, right in there, and it might push a bit further east into northwest Ohio. It's still pretty early. If the cold front slows down just a little bit, it would include more of portions of northeastern Illinois down into central Illinois, maybe Chicago, if the frontal boundary can slow down just a little bit more than forecasted. But yeah, I'm most concerned about that area right in there. And I just want to go to a SKU-T, looking at what we got. Let's go to far northern Indiana. Just looking at the vertical profile of the atmosphere. And as you can see, we definitely have the low-level winds turning with height right there in the lowest kilometer, and that's indicative right here in the hodograph. We got in the lowest levels turning of winds with height, good curvature in the lowest levels. We have very good low mid-level lapse rates right here in the 3 to 6 kilometer range. So we got steep lapse rates in place. We got the CAPE. We got the shear, 30 knots in the lowest kilometer, and bulk shear of 60 knots there. Very good helicity values. Anything over 100 could produce tornadoes, and we have values over 300 being forecasted. So in terms of northern Indiana, this does look like a tornadic SKU-T. Just the only thing I'm concerned about is the dew point being only 58 forecasted. that's going to lower the instability we have. So that's the one thing that might stop this from being a more widespread outbreak, in my opinion. And then I could look at a couple more models here. Let's go to like southern lower Michigan. So yeah, definitely have the hodograph looking good. Alternative winds. Yeah, we got the low level shear, vertical shear, or I mean speed shear and directional shear. And that's indicative right here, getting values of 30 knots in the lowest kilometer and 60 knots of bulk shear, so incredible amounts. Still good enough for helicity values over 200, strong lapse rates, and then you can see right here the possible hazard type. It says tornado. Let's go to portions of southern Illinois and look at theirs. This is very strong low-level jet forecasted here at this time. We still have a good hodograph, alternative winds with height. Not amazing, but it's good enough to get a tornado development. Yeah, still good enough. Got good mid-level lapse rates. The shear, 70 knot bulk shear is incredible, very high amount. Helicity values over 400, incredible. So yeah, all the parameters are in place there to get a couple tornadoes out of this. We'll look at one more. Let's go to Northwest Ohio. It's still a bit far east at this time, but still the hodograph isn't not as good as the others, but still got some curvature going on. Still have strong wind shear, 60 knot bulk shear, helicity values over 300 here. Very strong mid-level lapse rate over 8 degrees Celsius per kilometer. That's very steep. Got the Cape. So yeah, we have all the parameters in place again, even in northwestern Ohio. So that whole area, I'll just show you guys what I'm thinking here. Let's just go to a blank map here. So the area I'm most concerned with tomorrow night, especially after sunset tomorrow night on the 27th of February, I'm most concerned about areas from southern lower Michigan, maybe just southeast of Chicago, far eastern, east central Illinois, much of Indiana, far northwest Ohio, and into southern lower Michigan. This is the area I'm most concerned about getting the highest chance of severe weather, specifically in terms of all hazard types. I'm talking large hail, strong thunderstorm winds, and this area I think will have the best chance of seeing a couple tornadoes, as we have all those parameters in place that I just showed. And so yeah, northern Indiana, especially I'm talking places like Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Gary, and South Bend. Maybe as far east as Toledo, we'll see. Maybe as far east as Detroit. And if this cold front could slow down a bit, it would put Chicago more into play. But yeah, all those parameters in place, I think we have all the ingredients there to get some tornadoes in that area I just highlighted in red. And other than that, I think everyone else basically across all of southern Illinois into Missouri, and even as far east as eastern Ohio into Kentucky, I think all of that area that I just highlighted has the potential of seeing some severe weather. Not as high as the area I'm going to highlight here. I'm going to dash this area as it being the best chance of seeing severe thunderstorms in my opinion. But anywhere else in the red, as far east as Ohio, and then far south as into Kentucky, Tennessee, into Missouri, Arkansas, I still think you could see a couple, a brief, maybe a stray severe thunderstorm in that region too. But otherwise, this event is still over a day away, over 24 hours away. So some of this could still change a little bit, but as of now, this is what I'm going with. If it changes a lot, I might make a video tomorrow, a brief video with showing the updated future high resolution radar forecast. Otherwise, if it's not, I might just post like updates, make posts and pictures, and I'll explain things in there. So that's all I got for today. I hope everyone stays safe tomorrow and be weather aware. Have a good day, guys.